For further insight, let's bring in Ben Shapiro, editor-in-chief of the Daily Wire, host of The Ben Shapiro Show. It says here the largest and fastest-growing conservative podcast in the country. We have not impartially fact-checked that, but Ben, since you say it every day, I think we'll take it at least as truth right now. Nice to see you, my friend. The president says now it all starts to make sense. Is this FBI agent a critical piece of the puzzle?
I'm not sure the FBI agent is a critical piece of the puzzle, but it's pretty clear for a long time that the FBI has its own biases, and to remove those biases would be to paint an impartial, a not complete picture. One of the problems here is that we know that James Comey was basically letting Hillary Clinton off with nothing but a public slap on the wrist. Now we know that another FBI agent who was working on that particular case was biased against President Trump. One of the things I haven't found out from the story, maybe you can tell me, I just don't know, is how we knew that this agent was doing this. If we found it out from Mueller's investigation, then Mueller fired him, then that obviously reflects better on Mueller than if this were an outside force that had found out that this FBI agent was biased against President Trump, and then Mueller had to fire him for no other reason.
Great question. Our reporting from James Rosen and also Jake Gibson on this was that Comey fired him. I haven't heard exactly how, was that Mueller fired him, exactly how that transpired. As you point out, will be very interesting to figure out. The president saying that the FBI's reputation is in tatters. If everything is political and nothing is sacrosanct anymore, does that become a larger problem for the Republic?
Well, it's certainly a problem when we have no trust in any of our institutions. I mean, the president is at war with the FBI is at war with the president, the president's at war with parts of the DOJ. Right now, it seems like no one trusts any member of any institution, and that means that you're just going to side with the people that you feel best about, the people who you agree with most on policy. There's a poll out today from Alabama showing that a vast majority of members of the Alabama voting public feel that Roy Moore is innocent, not because they actually have verified the facts, but because they don't trust the media. That demonstrates the level of antipathy toward the media, a level of antipathy which I don't think is completely unwarranted. So, yes, as the institutions are torn apart, it's going to be very difficult to put the country back together. We're not operating off the same basis of common facts.
Speaking of institutions, you can also include in those institutions American tradition. One tradition is that former presidents do not speak ill of the current president, especially overseas. Take a listen to President Obama, see if you think he violated that.
Now, I grant you that at the moment we have a temporary absence of American leadership on the issue.
President Obama there talking about American leadership on climate change, but still, what a break.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of usual for Democratic presidents, actually. Bill Clinton was largely absent during the Bush administration, but Jimmy Carter obviously never went away. I mean, he's still running around blabbing about whatever he feels like blabbing about. President Obama couldn't last a full year before he started going abroad and talking about the current president of the United States. George W. Bush has been absent from the public scene since he left public office. So, there is a pretty stark gap, it seems to me, between Republican ex-presidents and Democratic ex-presidents when it comes to speaking about the people who come right after them of the opposite party.
Matt Drudge tweeting out, what about a Logan Act investigation of a citizen Obama conducting American foreign policy? It's a nice quip, but it makes an important point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the fact is that, a lot of people are saying that Mike Flynn violated the Logan Act when he was talking with the Russian government about policy for the incoming administration. The Logan Act is probably unconstitutional. It's really never been enforced. I think there's been one trial on it since it was imposed in the very, very end of the 18th century. I don't see, why what Mike Flynn was supposed to be doing talking to the Russian ambassador is so bad. And the fact that Matt Drudge is pointing out that if we're going to start going Logan Act on people, that Barack Obama would be in that penalty box. He's not wrong about that. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, if you recall, during the Bush administration, was flying over to Syria and making her own foreign policy. So if we're going to start doing, if we're going to start imposing the Logan Act as some sort of actual legal standard, there are going to be a lot of people who find themselves in the dock.
Well, it's too bad you won't have anything to talk about tomorrow on your podcast. All right. We'll see you then. Thanks as always. Good to see you.
Thanks so much.
All right.